This is one of the most important pieces of legislation that we will be deliberating on this year, and we're going to keep fighting until we send this to the governor's desk and make it a reality for the families of those who are suffering, our loved ones. I'm honored to join in as a joint author of this very important piece of legislation to give those with terminal illness the option to end their suffering in a peaceful and dignified way. By standing here today, continuing to be a voice for this issue, we are not only fighting for those who seek this option, but also those who have lost their battles to terminal illness. As a state, we should respect the wishes of those with terminal illness who desire their option to end their suffering peacefully and privately with their loved ones. In recent years, public attitudes towards death and dignity have changed due to education and the humanization of this issue. The stories that we hear in the press are those stories that put a human face to this very difficult issue. Recently, the nation watched Brittany Maynard move her family from California to Oregon so she could peacefully end her suffering from terminal brain cancer under Oregon's Death and Dignity Act. But her dying wish was to see a similar option enacted in California. And as a member of the state's legislative body, we should keep her memory alive by respecting her wishes.
I've been fighting the cancer for the last 4.5 years with chemotherapy, 18 rounds of chemotherapy, multiple surgeries to remove parts of my colon and my liver, radio ablation, radiation, and anything else that you can possibly imagine, from shamans to Reiki, and everything in between to fight this cancer. I'm not afraid to die, but what I am really truly afraid of is having my son and my family watch me struggle and die in pain. I don't want my son's last sorry. Thank you. I don't want my son's last image to be of me struggling and in pain. I want this option for me to be able to make a choice and die at home. As well as for all other Californians. So many people that we know and love are going through this. It's not just me, it's not just Brittany, it's nameless and faceless people all over California who are dealing with this on a regular basis, and their families and their friends deserve this right as we do. Everyone should be able to make the decision for themselves based upon their values and their beliefs. So I urge your support and ask for it personally.
This is a human right. And those in the legislature that are struggling with this decision should realize that it is not for them. It is a right that everybody should have. It's a human right. Si se puede. Yes, we can.
Whether or not we as individuals would choose to seek aid in dying should not affect our ability to accept that other Californians might wish to receive aid in dying. The end of life option bill is not a mandate. It is an option.
But unlike Brittany, there are thousands in California who are suffering but don't have the means nor the resources to pack up and move to another state. Her story saddens me because California should have more options available to those who are suffering every day besides moving to another state or simply living in constant pain. While this bill is about allowing the terminally ill to peacefully end their suffering, there's another piece to this bill: their loved ones. There's nothing more painful than watching someone suffering and being powerless to help them. Speaking from personal experience, California should have a law that respectfully allows terminally ill residents to make their own choice. Individuals are suffering, and we should give them the dignity and respect to make their best options when it comes to their health. A previous version of this bill had a setback, but it's not over here in the legislature. And I do not want to see this issue go to a ballot next year, because that means that the legislature would not be doing its job debating this topic and addressing the safeguards which only approve this legislation. If there are concerns, we could have language in this bill to address those, but this is about respecting personal choice, and I look forward to setting a piece of legislation with all of my colleagues who have fought so bravely to move this forward. We will not give up this fight, and we will struggle till we make this a reality for our families, so almost 40 million residents of California.